Hey, what's up, guys? This is Chris Johnson, and thanks for tuning back in to my life as a cool guy in nursing school. So, I just want to let you know that I'm now approaching my 10th week of school in my first semester of LVN school. Um, just to make it clear, I'm like the only American single straight guy in my class full of women. So those two don't count because they're both fat, bald, white men that look like cancer survivors. So yeah. Anyway, so like I said, right here, right now, the time is almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm studying pharmacology. We have a test on Monday, and it's over antibacterial drugs. And honestly, the best way that I study is when it comes to pharm, I would write down the side effects of the drugs, and the main thing that they really teach us on, or really, emphasize, is patient teaching. That's like number one thing, is patient teaching. And it seems like if you can't teach the patient what to do, you shouldn't be a nurse. Basically, that's what it is, because you are the doctor's bitch. You have to do his bitch work all the time. All the time. So, um, for instance, you would take an antibacterial drug, which would be a cell wall inhibitor. And if you don't know what a cell wall is, you probably need to take microbiology, and you probably need to know how that works in the whole infection virus process. Well, basically what a cell wall inhibitor does is it breaks down the wall, the protective shell that the organism has, so it'll make it more permeable and susceptible to the drug once it comes in. That way, it'll just seep through, because right now it has a shell, so when you inhibit the cell wall production, it makes it more permeable to where the drug can actually come in and kill, and what you'd want to do is, for somebody who's immunocompromised, just to say somebody that's really weak, or a child, or an old person, or somebody who has HIV, or just somebody who's, morbidly obese, diabetic, they would have a bactericidal. And the reason why you'd have a bactericidal for somebody who's immunocompromised is because it kills the bacteria directly. Now, for someone such as myself, who has a good diet, I exercise every once in a while, and I take care of myself, my immune system 9 times out of 10 will fight off a lot of infections that I should get, but I don't. And so I would get a bacteriostatic. And bacteriostatic, it slows the growth. So if you slow it, I have all the rest of my people that are just constantly catching up, my white cells, my T cells, my macrophages, my phagocytes, all that, and they're just catching up. And once you stop growing, like, that's it. Game over. So stuff like that. You kind of have to teach yourself how these drugs work, and what would you check for, when taking a cell wall inhibitor, and so after studying for a couple hours, I kind of forgot But I'm gonna go back over it real quick because I've studied like the whole packet. So I'm gonna go to sleep and probably do a little bit more tomorrow. But what you want to look for is somebody who has, for children, you'd really only use the more powerful ones for children because they use amoxicillin all the time, but at the same time, kids are young, and so they need to get exposed to these bacteria. That way, they do create an immunity. That way, when they get older or get our age, they'll be able to fight it off anyway because the memory cells will come back and be like, oh man, we didn't already have that shit before. Like, you're dead. You're done. Other than that, and then teach your patient basically if they have an allergy to penicillin and monitor for that, and then don't quit taking it all of a sudden. And it does have interactions with other drugs, so always be courteous of stuff like that. And basically if you just teach it to yourself like I do, or I attempt to do, because I have like a million other things I'm thinking about, that's pretty much how it goes. And once you really get in the flow and find out what your type of studying is, it'll make life a lot easier. But that's just mine. And so we have our chart that we go by all the time, and as you see, we've been checking them off, homie. Almost out of here. So once we get out of here completely, I'll be a nurse. And I know most of the time people underestimate, cool guys, but I'm just a normal guy like anybody else. I chose to take a route that would ensure the stability of myself and anybody else I come in contact with, intimately, or if I have a kid, stuff like that. It'll always be a struggle because you'll never be ready, but you'll be more prepared, if that makes sense. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in today. I'll get back to you later on my second video of nursing school. Alright, man. Stay sexy.